Four political parties, including the Partido Federal ng Pilipinas and Davao's Hugpong ng Pagbabago, are joining forces to support the 2022 election bid of former Senator Bongbong Marcos and Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte. After the standoff in the Ayumin Shoal, China now wants the Philippines to remove the Long Beach Navy ship, the BRP Sierra Madre, from the area. However, the Defense Department insists that China is in no position to make such a demand. The government will be holding a 3-day mass vaccination program next week, but some LGUs still lack vaccine personnel. Vaccine czar Carlito Galvez says more than 50,000 slots for vaccine personnel are still up for grabs. Furniture giant IKEA opens its biggest stores to date in the Philippines. Shoppers need to go through an online booking system in line with its COVID-19 safety protocols. Focused and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. China wants Philippine ships removed from the Ayumin Shoal as it makes yet another claim on Philippine territory. Maricel Halili with the story.
After its water cannon attack on Philippine supply boats in Ayumin Shoal, China is now demanding the anchored Navy ship BRP Sierra Madre to leave the area. China Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian said their position remains unchanged. Lijian even justified their Coast Guard's presence as mere patrolling and as part of its duty. He also went as far as saying that China allowed the Philippine boats to deliver supplies under a special arrangement out of humanitarian considerations. But for our officials, this is outright bullying that's clear as day.
We consider that as a form of harassment. Although sabi ng kanilang ambassador ay dinodocument lang nila. Eh silang karapatan na pumunta dyan sa loob ng Ayungin, kapit pa dyan.
Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana insisted that Ayungin is 174 nautical miles off Puerto Princesa, well within our exclusive economic zone. Lorenzana also cited the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea in 1982, which awarded the EEZ to the Philippines and ratified by China. With that, Lorenzana says the Philippines is free to do what it wants in the area and that China is nothing but a trespasser. In any case, the government wants to resolve matters in a peaceful manner. But when push comes to shove, an international studies professor told Agenda that the Mutual Defense Treaty with the United States can always be invoked.
Any attack on Philippine public ship, air or sea will be seen as an attack on the United States. This will entail time and a lot of resources and, of course, more importantly, political will.
As for Foreign Affairs Assistant Secretary Ed Menyez, while countries are free to say whatever they want, it still depends whether the court of global opinion would actually believe their narrative. For News 5, Maricel Halili, We Are One News.
One DepEd official is in favor of using social media platform TikTok as an educational tool for students. In an interview with 1PH, DepEd Undersecretary Diosdado San Antonio said that teachers must be taught to properly utilize TikTok for teaching. However, San Antonio warns teachers that the video sharing app must be used for educational purposes only and to avoid uploading indecent content.
Siguruhin lang na kung gagamitin ito ay na-address yung mga agam-agam. Purely educational use lang siya at gawing maliwanag yung instruction sa mga bata kung ito ay i-require na paraan para magsumiti sila ng kanilang mga performance tasks.
And the Comelec denies giving special treatment to presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos. This is after the poll body granted Marcos Jr.'s camp an extension to respond to petitions against his candidacy. Greg Gregorio with the full story.
The Comelec is still drawing flack for extending the deadline for the Marcos camp to respond to the petition seeking to cancel his candidacy. This even as the extended deadline already lapsed on Monday. On November 23, the Comelec 2nd Division formally denied the petitioner's appeal for the poll body to take back the extension. But a day after that, the petitioners filed a bill of exemptions reiterating the non-extendable period of 5 days. They also emphasized that the time limit under existing rules should not be taken lightly in election cases. Election watchdog Contra Daya agrees.
Kahit ang Contra Daya ay hindi rin natutuwa, no, kagaya ng mga petitioners na may special parang may special na special treatment, no, dahil Marcos yan, no.
The group marched to the Comelec main office and submitted a letter calling for a fraud-free election in 2022. The poll body, however, insisted that they have the authority to suspend or modify the time period that they earlier provided.
There's no special treatment there, and in other cases, it has been done. Again, if in the interest of justice, such a grant should be given, the Comelec gives that extension.
Despite the complaints, a pre-conference on the petitions to cancel the COC of Bongbong Marcos will push through on Friday. Each party will then be given 3 days to submit their written memoranda before the Comelec 2nd Division issues a resolution. Meanwhile, 4 political parties have formalized their support for Marcos and his running mate Sara Duterte. The Partido Federal ng Pilipinas, Lakas CMD, Hugpong ng Pagbabago, and Puwersa ng Masang Pilipino formed the so-called BBM Sara Unite Team.
Ito ay simula pa lang sa akin palagay. Simula pa lang, first step pa lang ito para maipagsasama-sama natin lahat ng mga tinatawag kong like-minded political forces. Ibig sabihin, dito kami sa administrasyon. This is the beginning of the process.
Duterte, for her part, thanked the parties for coming together despite their political differences. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
Vaccination centers are gearing up for the 3-day national vaccination drive, which kicks off on Monday. However, some LGUs say they are still dealing with a shortage in manpower for the rollout. Mon Gualvez with the report.
Around 94% of Metro Manila's target population are already vaccinated against COVID-19. However, vaccination centers like the Ramon Magsaysay High School in Manila are still bracing for the influx of vaccinees during the 3-day national vaccination program. Nurse Nicole is among the vaccinators for the Bayanihan Bakunahan on November 29 to December 1. Nicole recalls vaccinating 400 people a day during the height of the pandemic. She expects to vaccinate more next week.
Both excitement and syempre talagang preparation for us kasi maramihan na yon in a day.
The Manila Health Department will ensure that all personnel and logistics needed for the national vaccination days are prepared. From vaccinators, screeners, data encoders, up to the sanitation staff, all bases will be covered.
Sanay na kami sa maramihan. Subok na matatak na kami at subok na rin kaming mabibilis ang aming mga vaccinator. So,
Vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr. said that they have more than 17,000 volunteers in the country, while 30 AFP teams are assigned in geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. However, they would still need 51,000 additional volunteers to cover 11,000 vaccination sites nationwide. The Metro Manila Council offered to send vaccinators to nearby provinces to assist in the inoculation of several LGUs.
Kasi ibang mga kapitbahay nating LGUs ay talagang kukulang sa manpower. So pupunuan namin yun.
The League of Provinces of the Philippines welcomes the assistance.
In some areas, lalo yung low-rank provinces and municipalities, kulang sila sa doktor at saka mga nurses. So meron ding problema yung ilan sa encoders. So, maliit yung kanilang financial resources.
The DOH says those willing to volunteer for the national vaccination drive may reach out to the respective local government units. For News 5, Mon Gualvez, we are One News.
And IKEA Philippines, the Swedish brand's biggest store in the world, is now open. The furniture maker revealed that the store was 8 years in the making. According to IKEA, the COVID-19 pandemic got in the way of preparations as it made it harder to train staff. The 68,000 square meter facility is located within the Mall of Asia complex in Pasay City. Only 4,000 customers are allowed inside at a time, which is 60% of its total capacity. Let's take a quick look at today's other top stories. Former presidential advisor and businessman Michael Yang has asked the Supreme Court to block the arrest orders and the immigration lookout bulletin filed against him. Yang's counsel, attorney Raymond Fortun, filed a petition before the SC. The Senate has ordered Yang's arrest for skipping the Blue Ribbon Committee hearings despite being subpoenaed. Terra Firma Jeep 3x3 player Reuter Cabrera was rushed to the hospital after collapsing post-game on Wednesday. Cabrera's family says he is currently under observation in the ICU. The Philippine Basketball Association is asking for prayers for Cabrera's quick recovery. And in the NBA, LeBron James paved the way for the Los Angeles Lakers to outscore the Indiana Pacers 124-116. James ended the game with a season-high 39 points after returning from a one-game suspension after committing a flagrant foul where he recklessly hit Pistons center Isaiah Stewart at Sunday's game. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.